Okay, today I'll be setting up the Kifaru Sawtooth tent by Kifaru with their stove, mesh netting, their carbon pole, as well as their liner, the inside. So you can modify it however you want from October. If you're going to be near creek bottoms and you need the liner, mesh netting, all the way to summer scouting when you are just running your teepee tent and the carbon pole. You can also not even use the carbon pole, use an actual stick, their stakes, and then at the very end, of course, in the link, I will also show in the show notes their weights and ounces and all that jazz. But anywho, here we go to get set up. So you're going to start off with laying the tent out nice and wide. You're going to grab the foot box, which is going to be your very bottom corner pieces. You're going to be putting a stake into each far corner and then pulling it somewhat taut or tight. However you prefer, you're going to need to adjust it later. So just a comfortable was what they say is taut. Then you're going to work your way up to the very top of the teepee tent and grab the very center or the bottom zipper section of the teepee tent, pulling it nice and taut as well. There is a orange tab that you will use, as that's actually where the front of the tent is actually going to be staked in. So you kind of line it up, you grab that piece and then pull it in. Then you have your aluminum pole. You always want to put it at the bottom setting, so the smallest piece first, just to be able to get inside your tent and make the angle correct so where you can put it up nice and tall. Then you can extend it and raise it up to where it's nice and taut, and then you'll be able to then pull out your corners. Some people like to put out their corners prior. It's totally fine. It's just the next tab. You skip one tab, the molly webbing, and you go to the corners. You can stake those out too. I just kind of go from the center pole first, leave those loose, because most people end up having to adjust them anyways. But yeah, you'll work into one side, you'll work around the other, make sure it's nice and tall, make sure you have the right slope angle on each side. For the summertime, I always like a nice breeze or airflow underneath the tent, so I will try to keep these really wide. As you can see here, you'll be able to see how the light's coming in for better airflow purposes. Just for this setup and this demonstration in October, I'll go a lot deeper, and I will go to flush for the summertime. As you can see here, got good airflow. Then next is going to be your guy lines out to the outside. These you're going to want to put even and pull it out just enough where it kind of pulls about a few inches out. If you do too much on one side, the other side will actually slag. So you don't need it too tight, just need it comfortable. You'll work your way on the other side and also do the same thing on the other side as well. Personal preference here, this is typically when I actually finally start staking out the sides. Of course, not necessary if the weather's right. You really can probably go half the amount of stakes to bring, but just for this purposes, I'd like to show it. Then, of course, your bottom foot box pole, push that one out, make it straight, and then you can start to work your way out to the back side and do the same thing with that stake for your foot box. Give yourself a little bit more clearance, a little bit more room there, and pull it out, make it nice and taut. Same thing, push it down. Here's the example of the mesh netting. This is an insert that you can have. In addition, comes with this setup here. It's very small, weighs a few ounces. It's just that front netting. It's Velcro strapped in on each side, and then it's got that center zip that comes in. Of course, you can then zip up the full tent over it. Here's your inside liner. This is definitely great with condensation for some of those later season hunts, whether you know there's going to be temperature swings. It definitely collects the condensation, allows it to drip on the outside and not in your bag. Definitely really good for October or cold, damp places you're going to be camping. Otherwise, you can run it without. Keep it simple, keep it straightforward, keep it light, just like here. So here's the full setup, fully assembled, and you are good to go. Good room clearance. Again, it's two guys comfortable with plenty of room in between. So this mesh netting is super nice for just summertime when you need the breeze and you want to stay away from the bugs. You don't want to fully zip up your tent, otherwise it's going to create a lot of condensation or just a lot of heat within inside the tent. So this is just a simple mesh netting that's actually just attachable and detachable from right here, and it's super lightweight. It's not very big. It doesn't go on the inside, so it's just this front entrance, which is super nice, and zipping it up and leaving with good airflow. For demonstration purposes, I don't have the stakes all the way in, but normally I would pound these in deeper, and it takes 7. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 along the tent, 6 and 7. Typically I only run about 5. It's just lighter weight if you want to go ultra lightweight. And then you have 1 in the very back here, and then of course another 7 that goes along this side. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Here's me taking the aluminum poles apart and consolidating them into just a couple. You can push them inside. But yeah, let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for watching.